We're both live.
We're both live. Hey. So, monthly mindset, episode 2. Simon Walker.
Matt Rubman.
Yeah. To me, to you. So, mindset explosion and firecracker coaching combined again for our second episode.
Yeah,
we're talking about. It was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah. I know. Well, the trouble is, we age on a daily basis, but we kind of remember that one big day, don't we? That's the problem.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
But yes, I was a ripe old age of.
On Mother's Day as well. I was
know.
talking about this earlier.
I know.
All the guys are having taken the limelight away from
On my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think obviously both into mindset and coaching, and as we're getting a bit older and looking ahead and thinking back and
Can't remember stuff
and getting your kids' names. I have to go through my kids' names. I'm like turn into my nana. So what thoughts you got for today? So you reckon it's all in the mind?
Yeah, it's all in the mind. Mm-hmm. It is, and it's proven it's all in the mind. Yeah. We're not as old as we think we are.
I don't feel my age, but I don't know if that's based on how I perceived someone that was 25 when I was younger. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, we've got this thing about, we are supposed to, people say things like act your age. Well, all right, people can tell all over Facebook, I'm 47, and I don't even think I'm 47.
You don't look a day over 46.
And it's your 52nd.
Yeah, I'm 50. Yeah, I'm 63 in a couple of weeks.
But when they say you act your age, well, how old does a 47-year-old act? What am I supposed to act like? And I got friends of mine who've got a psychological age of like 15, and they act like they're 10-year-olds. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of it.
That kicks in for me sometimes.
Yeah, you've got to do it.
Yeah, I think it's good to embrace that childish behavior.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not when I'm arguing with my kids though. It's like when I start. Now I'm having a 5-year-old arguing.
Yeah. Well, they're the worst ones to argue with because they always win.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, what I was going to say was that 40. The way I've been looking at it as well. So 47 is at the moment. Yeah. And if you think about this, when we're kind of in our 80s, science is going to advance even more than it did 40 years ago. Yeah. So I'm going to go
off subject a bit here, Simon, because it just popped in my head. So my dad cancer was probably about got to get on 10 years ago now, and something he said to me. So he's just turned 70, and one of the things he said in terms of a mindset thing was that he remembered being 20, eating lunch, and I think he was in the cathedral, and he happened to look over some stones and how young everyone was, and he felt so privileged to be alive then. And obviously, they call that early, so he's all cleared up. So age is something that's in the head, like you said, just coming into the science now in the future when.
Totally, yeah. So I'm not even middle aged. You're not even middle aged. No. So I mean, we're going to be living well into our hundreds.
I just stayed too long in the bath. Went fast downhill. What's on a bike?
Yeah, mine's the grey is all worry. That's what it is. It's just all pure worry.
All right. So what was the?
So I've got a kind of So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and with it all being all in our brains as well. So we've got two cameras going now, so we're working both. But the other thing about our brains is that recent science is now showing that we've got this thing called neuroplasticity.
Right.
And they always used to think that our brains would age and we'd lose neurons and degenerative connections and things like that. Yeah. In certain diseases, obviously that's the case. We've got things like Parkinson's. Yeah. What scientists are now finding is that the more we use our brains, we can actually create those new connections. Yeah. So if we make our brains work, it's like like a muscle. You get the people down here. They can't do 10 press-ups. Yeah. But, get them in here for a couple of months. They can do 50 press-ups. Yeah. But they're training those muscles. Yeah. Our brain is like that muscle. We've got to use it. All the time, the more we use it, the more connections we create.
I've seen something like this. I don't know if it was on a TV now. Probably it's along the same things. They were talking about memory games.
Yeah.
Like things that, testing out your memory and like some of the apps you probably get. And
if you do Sudoku's, probably one of the best ones actually is learning another language.
True. Yes. Because, I've heard this.
Yeah. Learn another language, take it up. Anything to do with the brain, mental games, Sudoku's, crosswords, anything you want to sit there and use it as well. Yeah. Funny enough, another one as well, another really good one, is if you brush your teeth with the opposite hand.
Oh, okay.
So you get it first thing in the morning, change hands.
I use both.
What, two toothbrushes?
Yeah, two at the same time. That looks weird, but
well, you know, or maybe use your feet instead.
Yeah, I could try my feet. Yeah, I swap the hand over.
Yeah, so they say is if you use an opposite hand, that again creates your brain, gets your brain to think, oh, hang on a second, I'm doing something different. So I'm not being.
It does make sense. Yeah,
it
does make sense. Yeah.
So try that. Right. So do all these things.
What's the next one?
Getting the most out of our brains. One thing I wanted to tell you about, which is an interesting study I found, and this was done back in 1979, and it's done by a doctor called Ellen Langer, and this was in the States. So she took a group of people who had been in high school in 1959. Okay, and she took a control group and she told them to think back how they were, and then she took another group and put them into a situation, into like a complex. Which was actually in 1959, right? So you walk in, the television only showed black and white shows of 1959. The newspapers were all that age. So this was taking these people back to when they were kind of like
kids,
17, 18.
And
then they did a study at the end, and go and look it up. It's a fantastic study, and there's a great book out of it as well, Counterclockwise Experiment. But they found that after a week, these people started actually reverting back. So people have lower blood pressure, joint pain and joint aches going.
So do you think that was like a chemical release in terms of, you know, like I don't know if we talked about it in the last show, but I know me and you talked, you know, like music. And you'll hear music track and it take you back to something, and maybe it could release that kind of chemical.
I think it's a mindset. It's definitely a mindset thing that actually gets you back. And you know, the thing is, if you've got aches and pains and you're in the here and now, and all you're thinking about is aches and pains, that's all you're seeing.
Yeah, definitely.
But if your mindset is taken back somewhere else it was years ago, when you didn't have those aches and pains, then you actually start physiologically.
I think you like you just did it there. So you change your posture,
changes, and you know,
sat down,
from a confidence point of view, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, there's Ellen Langer wrote a book about the whole project and stuff. It's absolutely fascinating.
I'll drop the link or something.
I'll do a link to the book. I'll do some notes.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating. So
cool.
And next on this, anything you want to? I'm just rattling through this.
No, that's good.
I haven't got time.
I'm just jumping in.
I haven't got time. No, I'm getting older. So the other thing I wanted to talk about.
Mission goals. Get a complete episode 2.
We're gonna get to the end. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the 4 ages. Okay, so we've got distinct 4 ages of age. Right. So we've got a chronological age. So I'm 47. And again, what does that mean? Right. So we've got an emotional age. All right. Do I feel 47? No. I feel probably 27 again. You know, that's it in my head. I don't even think about that.
So, like, touch on that then. So, would you say, is that more recently you felt that? Was there a point when you did feel your age, or have you always felt younger?
I think for me, it's defiance.
Right.
So I think I got to a point where I was kind of aching. I had backache and stuff like that. And for me, I refuse to kind of believe that's anything to do with age. I think that's to do with immobility and not moving enough, probably not exercising enough as well. So that's been my defense against that is right. Okay, no. I'm not going to be.
It's funny because like saying it as well, because you know I'll go and teach a class or do something. I'll be jumping around and leaping all over the place, and then I would end up telling myself, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling my age now." But the time of doing it, I didn't. I just felt.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. In the middle of it, you don't go, "Oh, I'm feeling my age now," do you?
No. No.
So you can quite rightly get to the end of it.
Yeah.
And go,
sometimes it's what I'm telling myself.
Well, I think the other thing as well is that we need to say, instead of saying things like, "Oh, I feel old," you can say things like, "I feel tired." Because what you're doing then is you're then putting it into a temporal state. So what you're saying is, for a finite time, a very small amount of time, I'm tired. So instead of, if you say I feel old, then you put that over a much longer period. So your brain goes, oh, this is a long state I need to be in. If you say I'm tired, then you know it's a short state.
I like it.
And then biological age, we have a cellular age, and here's another fascinating study they've done. So they were looking into cell degeneration, how long it takes cells to die in our bodies. And I'll try and find a link for this, but it's absolutely fascinating. I found a bit of research on it. So they reckon that every cell in our body is regenerated over a 12-year period.
Right. Okay.
So really, our cells in our bodies are only 12 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the thing is, we've got a liver. Our liver regenerates.
Yes.
We know it can regenerate. We know we've got this ability to have cells that regenerate as well.
Do you know birds some birds, I think they regenerate the hairs?
So they?
Yeah, they research. I found out because of my son. So where his the hairs that put hearing in or send it to the brain, whatever. So that they were researching this about 10 years ago on how to regenerate these cochlear.
Brilliant.
For that, which obviously just cut it off my back. It's
just coming up. But they're doing,
it's just interesting, because we kind of touched on like what things will be in the future.
Yeah.
So,
well, that future's now as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at even stem cell research.
Yeah.
We've done research with stem cells, which we know. For those who don't know.
But is it a good thing we're all going to live a bit longer? We're running out of room. We better start some intergalactic.
Right, okay, so by the time we're in our 80s, people are going to be living on Mars anyway.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see the first Martian baby.
Yeah,
it'd be brilliant.
Wouldn't be surprised.
So
yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all.
And there is plenty of room.
Yeah, when you think in 40 years, how much technology has changed, even the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, people like Elon Musk talking about that's one to reach out. So not going to surprise me in the least.
Have you seen the film First Man?
Haven't yet. No.
Right. Go and see the First Man.
Right, First Man. Check that one.
There's a great scene in it where Neil Armstrong is talking to a lot of senators. So this is like 1960 something, and the senators are going like, well, what's the point of us investing all this money into space? And Neil Armstrong turns around and says, yeah, but Senator, don't forget, only 50 years ago we weren't even flying.
Yeah, exactly.
So you think from 1910,
and that's a massive thing, right? Yeah.
So it's just incredible, absolutely incredible. So you're right. In
this computer.
Oh yeah, that would have powered the the Apollo missions 3 times over. Probably.
With my phone. Yeah, it's true.
But it's true. Technology is advancing. We're hopefully riding on the tide of that as well.
We're evolving.
Yeah,
just got to learn to sort out this stuff. That's another subject.
But that's what we're here for. What are we here as human beings? We're here to grow.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. We grow and evolve. We explore. That's what we do.
And survive. So that's part of. This whole
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
All right. Went off again, but that's okay.
That's right. That's how we roll. And the last one I wanted to touch on, the last stage I wanted to touch on was psychological age.
Yes.
And again, we all know those children, those childish people. Anybody do any April Fools this morning?
I did.
There you go.
Who's in my group?
There's in our
Town and Martial Arts group. I said we had this movie star coming in for celebration. Let us know if you come. Me.
But what is that an age thing? No, that's a fun thing.
That's just fun.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it on April Fools, then when can you do it?
Every day.
You do it every day.
No, I would, but.
But then nobody would trust what you're saying.
No.
So that's the 4 ages.
Yeah.
I mean, there's we're talking about technology again. Science is changing, marketing is changing. If you notice, from a marketing perspective, they're not trying to sell you. I was reading an article this morning about like night creams and sort of marketing stuff, beauty products. Well, they're now not selling it as pampering stuff. They're now selling it as scientific research, or retinol creams and whatever the heck it is they're talking about. I think I said that right, didn't I? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So they're cottoning on to the science and technology is where the advancing is going.
I've noticed that actually is more. I guess that's towards our well-being, and everything seems. This is almost like a well-being mindset video. So I think we're at that kind of age at the moment.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think we're kind of at a more kind of spiritual, philosophical kind of age?
I would say so. I think we're on I said it about a year ago. It's like the world is on the edge of some sort of shift or something. Whether that's because of uncertainty, say in this country with Brexit, and even in the States where they've had obviously different presidents coming in and stuff like that. So it just seems that it's just a bit different place. And again, it'd be different in 50 years' time because our grandchildren would have decided on something completely different anyway. So
but it's nice though that our education is changing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because and the funny thing, something that really interests me is about things like spirituality and yoga and stuff like that. They're now showing that from a scientific perspective, how much yoga changes your body.
Well, funny you said that. Yeah. So I started doing that in yoga in January, just something different for me, and that combined with obviously martial arts and fitness, I feel more relaxed anyway. Yeah. So it has a knock-on effect. We're probably going to come on to this now.
Yeah.
But how we're mindset's important, how we're our everyday living, basically, what we put in, what's coming out, and conditioning it, and things like that. Any form of exercise is conditioning your mind anyway, and it makes you feel that a bit more sprightly. And
well, we know, we both know as coaches, that mindset is probably one of the most important elements to it.
Yeah, definitely. And motion leads to emotion.
Correct. Yes.
So
I like that.
Yeah, that was anti-Robin, so I can't claim that one.
via Matt Robin.
Yeah, via me. But it's true. It's true. And if I didn't do anything, I would start to ache. If I don't do anything, I ache. I start my back aches, so I have to keep moving, or my knee will ache or something like that. So it has that knock-on effect, and then in how I feel. I don't feel old. I don't feel middle-aged. I don't feel anything. Sometimes I look at a photo of me a few years back and think, hang on a minute, I look younger there.
Who's that bloke with hair?
Who is that young? But so it is mindset.
It is true. Mindset has got such a massive.
I'm not so fussed about the age. I don't think about that too much. But I want to. I'm probably there's things that are happening now that I didn't think would happen. I didn't think that that would be my life at this age, but it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm working towards the next.
And we're about the same age. So you
can't speak for yourself.
Matt's a few years older than me, but but you probably remember, sitting back thinking about the year 2000.
Oh, when the planes were going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah. For me, I was like, I was going to be 28. As a kid, I remember in school sitting there with friends in school going, year 2000, what's going on?
Okay.
Year 2000, I'll be 28. I couldn't imagine myself at the age of 28.
Yeah.
And now I think back like, I was 28 then.
Yeah, I know.
It's a funny one.
All right. So let's finish up.
So
who's this lady? It's 90.
So a woman I wanted to bring everyone's attention to because she's an absolute marvel. She's passed away now.
Yeah.
But she was a lady called Olga Koletka.
Yeah.
You look her up. She held 90 world records for her class. So she was a nonagenarian racer, track and field athlete.
Yeah.
She held 950 gold medals. Crazy. And when she died, and they sort of looked into, doctors did research.
So she died when she was 90?
91, 92.
Something like that. Yeah. Achievement, right?
She was still, well into that age.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, like, they did an examination of my body, and they said she had the body of a 60-year-old.
Wow.
So, and Olga always attributed it to her mindset.
Yeah.
She was like, she never thought that she always thought she was 40 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so there you go. So that's proof.
There you go.
Get this sorted.
All right. Well, hope you got something from us today, guys. Thanks for watching.
Sure. Yep.
Yours went, but
mine went.
And we look forward to seeing you next month.
Good.
Anything you want to add in, or?
We'd really be nice if somebody gave us some suggestions about what
to
talk about
definitely.
Next month.
All right.
That'd be great.
Definitely. Let's put a poll out. Peace.
Brilliant.